My name is Lauren Athiyanka. I believe that breath management is one of the most important ideas that you can teach to your students. My goal of breath support for myself and for my singers is to supply stable amount of air at the correct pressure for desired pitch and loudness. I personally believe in apagio breathing. I've been fortunate that all of my voice teachers have taught this technique. Apagio breathing is a combination of thoracic and abdominal breathing. Appoggiare means to lean on. Before I even begin to teach breathing with my students, I make sure that their bodies are relaxed. I do this with myself as well. There must be a feeling of release and relaxation in the muscles before we start singing. I believe the majority of breathing problems are the result of exaggerated muscle activity. I use these stretching exercises to get the body ready to breathe. Okay, girls, we're going to do the rib stretch. Stand with your weight on your left foot. Reach up with your right arm. Stretch towards the ceiling. Take turns bending each knee in this position to keep the knees from locking and moving each arm forward and back. Yeah, so we feel that stretch in the intercostal muscles between the ribs. And then we switch sides, making sure our knees aren't locked, and we feel a stretch in our intercostal muscles between the ribs. Great. Then we're going to go to the sleepy head. So let the head drop forward toward the chest without collapsing the shoulders. Then let the head fall to one side, let's say the left, about 45 degrees. Feel the stretch. Lift the head and allow it to fall forward again, and then to the other side. Feeling the stretch. We're stretching the muscles that hold the head erect. Great. Now we're going to do the ragdoll. So let the head drop forward, then roll the shoulders forward and gently bend your back vertebrae by vertebrae until you have bent forward as far as you can without bending the knees, while making sure that those knees are never locked. Enjoy a stretch in the lower back. Let the head and arms hang loosely. Flex the knees a few times to increase the stretch. Then stand up slowly and gently, vertebrae by vertebrae, followed by the shoulders, then the head. Making sure the head is the last thing to come up, right? This relaxes the back and releases neck and back tension. Next, we're going to do the neck massage. With flat fingers on the right side, massage the left side of your neck. And then switch side. This releases tension in the neck. The last thing we're going to do is yawning. So we're going to really yawn. And then silently. This lifts the soft palate and lowers the tongue. After the body is warmed up, I have the student and myself practice the silent surprise breath that allows the soft palate to lift and the throat to release. Good. And release. Again. Good. Next, I have the student place their hands on their ribs towards their backs, making sure that the shoulders remain in a released position. The students will take the quiet surprise breath and feel the expansion in their ribs. And release. Keep doing that, girls. I also will have the student check in with themselves to make sure that their abs are released. I think it's especially important for young singers, especially high school boys, whose skeletal structure grows faster than the muscular, so there's already natural tension in the abdominal wall. The young students often have trouble coordinating the expansion of the thorax and the release of the lower abdomen. I'll often have them focus on the ribs, making sure their bellies aren't tight when they're still young. They look pretty good. As the student exhales on a pitch or a sustained S, I make sure that the students are keeping the expansion or buoyancy in their rib cage, what we know of as the external intercostals, keeping the thorax larger. As the breath is being released, the students may feel a sense of support in the lower abs. We know that as muscular antagonism that happens between the abdominals and the external intercostals, pulling in opposing directions to control movement, to balance breath pressure through the opposition of inspiratory and expiratory muscles. Once we've gone through the steps of breathing, we put these into practice. I like to work on a long sustained S, which I call the snake S. So they can breathe, watch their ribs expand in the mirror while making sure that the abs aren't tight. Then releasing the breath on an S as long as they can. So let's try that, girls. Breathe in and release on an S. And I'll talk while you girls are letting that go. They'll breathe as long as they can until they get to what feels like the end of their breath. And they need to use their lower abdominal wall to support the end of the phrase. So keep going, girls, until you feel like you can't anymore, and then allow those lower abdominal muscles to kick in and release the end of the phrase. Great, good, you can relax. Then I like to use this exercise. We're counting in 4. We start with S on the first beat, then S on the first and third, and then S on every beat. So ready, 1, 2, breathe, 2, 3, 4, breath, so we'll try that again. I know, it's a little tricky. So we'll breathe in and I'll count and you girls release the S. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good, really good. I know it's hard. Then we'll do the same thing but on vowels. So we're going to take in a breath, we're going to feel our ribs expand, we're going to feel the abdominal wall release, and Elise is yawning because she's feeling her soft palate lift. And because voice science is so exciting. So let's take a breath in, and we're going to just sustain pitch on the vowel E. Then we'll say this pitch, E. So nice breath in. Good. Feel the breath energy. Good. Never letting the body tight. Release the muscles. Good. Nice long breath. Excellent, girls. Then we're going to do the same thing with the counting in the 4, but on the vowel E. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. E, 3, 4. E, 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 E. Great. So that's the way I teach breathing.